Chapter 14 of Spellbook of the Lost and Found. Laurel, Wednesday, May 10th, Thursday, May 11th. Found, TV remote, gray, broken. Wallet, black leather. Makeup bag, large red gold zipper. Set of car keys, dog charm keyring. Reading glasses, purple. Soccer ball, white and green. Hairpins, approximately 15. Blue plastic lighter, 2 tarnished teaspoons, 1 sock, multicolored and stripy. Silver star-shaped hair clip, delicate gold bracelet with tiny charms. On the way to the woods on Wednesday, I rolled over a TV remote in the middle of the road. It crunched under my tires, and I spun to a halt. Ash and holly hot on my heels. I kicked it into a ditch, not thinking that a small rectangle of plastic could be a start of something. We cut class to be with Jude. We sat in the shade of silver birches and studied for our end-of-the-year exams. Jude snorted at our textbooks, our homework journals. He made us his own list of required reading. Keats and Coleridge, Cornick and Vonnegut. He took his own tattered paperbacks out of the snatchel and read passages aloud. His voice is like music. Did I mention that before? He doesn't have our accent. This town is etched on each of our vowels. His voice is almost accentless, like a TV presenter, like he's never stayed in one place long enough to speak like a local, like he's only ever been local of our dreams. Or at least that's what he wants us to think. Ash and Holly listened wrathfully, but I found myself sighing impatiently at his beautiful voice. He only ever wants to talk about things that matter. But everything about him seems increasingly like a careful front. When he took a breath to rest, I asked him where he lived, where his parents were. Small talk, he said. I can't abide small talk. Let me tell you the myth of Arcus. Let me tell you how he almost flew into the sun. I didn't tell him that I knew the myth of Arcus and that I'd already read Kuruk and found it all pretty boring, but sometimes small talk is a good way to get to know somebody better. But I'm beginning to suspect that Jude doesn't want us to know him at all. The only people for me are the mad ones, Jude was reading. The ones who never yearn or say a commonplace thing, but burn, burn, burn like fabulous yellow Roman candles exploding like spiders across the stars. Ash was nodding. Yeah, she said, yeah. Holly's eyes were closed, frustrated. I scratched out the equation I was working on and started over. Burn, burn, burn. Ash wandered into the trees to pee. We heard her feet rustling leaves and small twigs and reminded me of the spell for some reason. The moss we forged, the penknife we used to cut the tips of our fingers. I can still feel the seam of the cut, tidy and white. It is right over the worlds of my fingerprints, making them change my identity. I am not the person I used to be. When Ash came back, she was holding a wallet. I found it, she said, sitting on a rock like it'd been laying there with a 20 inside, no ID. We left Jude with our things and rode into town. We waited until one of my sisters was on break from the bakery, smoking outside, and beckoned her over. Shouldn't you be in school, she asked. We skipped class. We're studying in the forest. Then I gave her the money and asked her to buy a couple of six-packs. You little rebel, she said to me with admiration, finally. We rode back to the woods with a beer in our school bags and bottles clinking every time we hit a pothole on the bumpy road. If we hadn't been watching the road for stones and hoes, we wouldn't have found the next thing. A powder compact, red and shiny. The powder several shades darker than any of our skins. It was sticking out of the big red makeup bag sitting on the ground just at the edge of the forest. Shit! You scared the fucking hell out of me, Ricky!